Hey, what's up everybody, Nexel here. Today we are playing Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, and we're going to be talking about the new Lingering Will medal and banner that just dropped today in Global. And let me start off by saying, oh my goodness, I cannot believe they dropped something this amazing 2 to 3 weeks before anniversary hits. I'm sure they realized that everyone was saving jewels for anniversary, and they're like, we gotta stop them. We gotta somehow make them spend all their jewels before anniversary. That way they have to buy jewels with actual money. Because this medal, this banner, are amazing and definitely worth 15,000 jewels if you have it to spare. Even if you don't have it to spare, it could be a good investment. So I feel kind of attacked that they put this right before anniversary, but let's go ahead and talk about the banner as we always do. So again, we'll talk about the banner, the medal, the draw odds, and finally my thoughts and recommendations on whether or not I think you should pull for this medal. So long story short, it's a great medal that comes in a 5-pull Mercy, and it is easily worth 15,000 jewels. If you drop below the recommended 15,000 jewel limit that I normally put on all players, totally worth it. Definitely worth it. Even if you drop down to like 300 jewels, this could totally be worth it for almost any player, essentially. So there's a few things, if you want to pull, there's a few things I want to make sure you're aware of. Number one, you have 10 days. That's a lot of time to decide whether or not you want to use your jewels on this medal. Remember that jewels essentially always maintain value. They're the highest value item in this game. Jewels that I had at the beginning of the game are worth the same as much as jewels that I have right now. So jewels are the highest value. You have 10 days to decide if you want to pull for this particular medal, and remember, within those 10 days they can release other banners, they can release avatar boards, they can release things in the Moogle shop that might be worth it more than the Lingering Will medal. So keep that in mind. It's always best to wait the full 10 days, pretty much until the last day, see what's available to you, and then decide if you want to pull. The next thing is that if you want to pull for this medal, because again, it's a great medal, you have to be able to Mercy it. You have to make sure that you have 15,000 jewels either right now or before this banner goes away if you want to pull for this medal. You should always expect to do the Mercy. If you can't Mercy the medal, you don't pull for it. If you are only able to do 3 pulls because you only got 9,000 jewels, you don't pull for it. You always make sure you're capable of mercying medal before you pull for it. And we'll talk about it a little bit more in the draw odds later, but the system does not support you getting the medal anything before 5 draws. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But let's go ahead and jump right into the banner first. So essentially this banner is standard stuff by today. So you get 3 Kingdom Hearts 3 medals, which is essentially going to be like a Supernova medal that you might want to keep and sub-slots, or it's going to be draw points. It's always great to have more Kingdom Hearts 3 medals because they're guaranteed to be tier 7 or higher, and you can sell those again for draw points, which can get you like another tier 10. So it's always great to have multiple Kingdom Hearts 3 medals in order to get those great draw points. You get 1 trait medal with every single pull, which is fantastic because it usually takes about 20 to 30 traits to get a perfect medal. So pulling for this medal, if you have to Mercy it, that gives you 5 trait medals right off the bat and decreases the amount of traits you need to buy for the medal. The next thing is that you get 6 general 5-star or higher medals. These are essentially going to be either supernovas that you're using for sub-slots, or they're going to be medals that you sell for draw points. You're also going to get 10 VIP coins with every single pull. Again, standard stuff by today. Remember that VIP coins don't need to be used specifically on the banner that you pull them from. You could use them on anything that's available. So, for example, right now, you can use those VIP coins for Kingdom Hearts 3 Yuffie if you need traits for Kingdom Hearts 3 Yuffie. With every single pull, you're also getting 2 power gems, which is pretty standard stuff. You get some of the attribute gems based on the attribute of the featured medal. So in this case, Terra's Power, you're going to be getting power gems. The biggest thing to note about this banner, and I've been saying it a lot of times throughout this video so far, you get the medal within 5 pulls. One thing to note about that is that if you get the medal on the 2nd pull, you have to do 5 more pulls before you can get another copy. It is within 5 pulls. It is not on the 5th pull. So that's an important word play to keep in mind there. But getting this thing within 5 pulls is amazing. Remember that Rage Form Sora was a copy medal that had no mercy. It even came in a discounted banner where it was only 1,000 jewels per pull, but it wasn't merciable, and that changes everything. Having the ability to get the medal within 5 draws, guaranteeing it on the 5th pull if you didn't get it by then, is amazing. It is literally one of the best values for your jewels in this game. So that is definitely the key thing to pay attention to when it comes to the banner itself. Again, you have 10 days to decide, so that's a lot of time to be thinking about it. But let's go ahead and move on to the actual medal and whether or not I think the metal is worth it. So first of all, this thing looks amazing. It looks fantastic. I love the Keyblade armor look. I love how it's like shaded. It's got a lot of like darks and lights going on in there. He's got the cape, which they removed in Birth by Sleep, which is really sick. He's got the Ends of the Earth Keyblade. I love the look of this metal alone. It looks just amazing. I'd love to have it in my collection. But let's go ahead and talk about the actual important part, which are the metal details. So Lingering Will is an upright power metal that has a maximum strength of 4,249 after chips and dales, but before traits, which is just standard stuff, 40,000 strength is pretty much what we want to have on a metal nowadays. For the metal, it's going to cost 4 gauges to cast it, and the target and the multiplier are irrelevant, and we'll talk about that when we talk about the special attack right now. So the special attack, whenever you activate this metal, for 1 turn gives metal strength plus 1,000, which is amazing because metal strength plus 1,000 means that every single metal that comes after it is gonna be getting strength. It doesn't matter if it's power, speed, upright, magic, reverse. No matter what metal it is, it's gonna be getting metal strength just from the activation of this metal. It's a copy metal. It unleashes the same special attack as the next metal. So this makes it a forward copy metal. It copies the next metal. So if this is on slot 4, it is copying the metal that's in slot 5. And it only works one set before a metal. So that's pretty important because I see some people sharing the Lingering Will, and that only matters if it's going to be used for high score challenge points. If it's only going to be used for like a 21% bonus for high score challenges. Having it as your shared metal means that all your friends that cast it are not getting pretty much any value out of it because there's no metal for it to copy. So if you share this metal, it's only for high score challenge purposes and not because you want them to use it as an actual damaging metal. In most cases, like 99.9% of the time. So the reason that the multiplier and the target don't matter for this metal is because as a copy metal, there are certain things that it copies and certain things that it doesn't. So in terms of what copy metals copy, they copy the special attack and the effect of the metal they're copying. They copy the multiplier. So let's just say that the next metal has a multiplier of like 19.2, like Deciduous Sephiroth. Using the Lingering Will copy that multiplier, giving the Lingering Will a 19.2 multiplier, which is insane. It copies the PSM attribute of it. So Lingering Will as a power metal, if you use it as a copy metal, copies whatever the next metal is. So let's just say you've got this in slot 4, and then you've got Kingdom Hearts 3 Lee Supernova Plus Plus in slot 5. The Lingering Will change to mimic that Lee and become a speed metal. So that is amazing right there. It lets you fix so that you're always hitting the enemy for weakness. And then it also copies upright and reverse attribute, which again just kind of helps you tailor how you're going to attack the enemy. So it's super great. Those are the things that it copies. In terms of the things that are not copied by a copy metal, they don't copy the strength, the gauge cost, or the tier. All of those stats come from the copy metal. So in this case, Lingering Will, the strength stat is that 40,249. The gauge cost is always going to be 4. The tier is always going to be 10, no matter what metal that the Lingering Will is copying. It could be copying a tier 20, but it's still going to activate as a tier 10. And then it also does not copy the next metal's skill or supernova attack. So supernova attacks are specific to the metal, and there's no way to copy them at this point in the game. Talking about the Lingering Will Supernova attack, though, it's going to hit all targets. It hits for mastery, which means that it does a little bit more damage to speed enemies than any other enemy. And then for 1 turn, metal strength plus 4,000. Again, talking about metal strength, it gives everything strength. Power, speed, magic, upright, reverse, fantastic stuff, because that means you could put on any Keyblade, any slot, and activation of this metal, activation of its supernova attack, gives everything strength downhill, which is super great. It's got a few sort of irrelevant buffs and debuffs. So it gives you upright strength by 10 and then decreases all enemies' upright defense by 10. Again, not exactly perfect numbers. There are better ways to do the debuffing. It's just a nice little perk in addition to the metal strength plus 4,000. It gets special attack bonus plus 300%, which is standard for all metals Supernova plus plus at this point. And then it has a multiplier of 240, again, standard stuff for all Supernova plus plus metals at this point. So we need to talk about it as a copy metal. So we already talked about what it copies, what it doesn't copy, but we need to talk about why copy metals are so amazing. You can't have a discussion about why you should pull for copy metals without giving some examples. So here's a solid example of me using copy metals in multiple different ways for multiple different reasons. So the Kingdom Hearts 3 Luxord here is a copy metal. The reason that he's so good in this case is because this slot is reverse green. I could have a different copy metal here, like let's just say for example I had this Lee here, but it's not getting the full multiplier bonus. Having copy metals and multiple different versions of them allows you to get the full slot multiplier bonus like the Kingdom Hearts 3 Luxord is getting here. Another great reason that copy metals are amazing is because they can always copy the best metal in the game. It doesn't matter what time it is. It doesn't matter if it's 2 years from now, 2 years in the past. Copy metals can always copy the best metal no matter what that is. So in this case here, Kingdom Hearts 3 Lee/Axel, the Supernova Plus version, is one of the best metals in the game right now. The fact that I have this Kingdom Hearts 3 Lee/Axel, which was released like a year ago, copying one of the best metals in the game means that I'm getting this best metals multiplier. It means that I'm getting that special attack again. So this just goes to show that copy metals have a long life because they can always copy the next best thing. In terms of power, or strength metals, things like that, those always get replaced. The next best metal keeps getting replaced by something better than it. So the new metal can have like a higher multiplier. It can have a higher strength value, a higher tier. But it doesn't matter to copy metals because copy metals just move on. They just copy the next best thing no matter what it is. So copy metals have a very long life in terms of how long you can use them for. And lastly, copy metals have great versatility on the pet slot. And the reason for that is because the pet slot, it doesn't matter if it's upright, power speed, magic, reverse. Having a copy metal here means that you can always copy a friend metal, which is great. In this case, I have Rage Form Sora, who is a copy metal, essentially the upright speed version of the Lingering Will, and he's copying whatever I want him to. If I need to push more speed damage, I can have him copy a Kingdom Hearts 3 Lee/Axel. If I need to push for more power damage, I could have him copy Dissidia Sephiroth. So having the pet slot is great for copy metals because even if you're running something like Counterpoint, which is mainly a magic Keyblade, you can have the pet slot be a copy metal, and then it could just copy another magic metal. It can copy a speed metal. So copy metals, that's why they have such a long lifespan, because they fix for slot multipliers. They can always copy the next best thing in the game. And then if you're a beginner and you have it on the friends or the pet slot, you can copy friend metals, which are usually the best metals in the game. So at that point, you essentially need a buffer and a copy metal, and you're able to clear a lot of content. Copy metals, one of the best things about them is that they prevent you from needing to spend more jewels on more metals. So in this case here, let's take a look at actually the Kingdom Hearts 3 Dusk, which is another copy metal. So instead of having 2 copies of Kingdom Hearts 3 Elsa, which is again one of the best metals in the game, I just have a copy of the Dusk. Granted, I'm not getting Supernova Elsa, Kingdom Hearts 3 Elsa's Supernova attack again, but I am copying her effect, and I didn't need to spend more jewels on Kingdom Hearts 3 Elsa alone. I just need to spend once on the copy metal, and then I could copy whatever I want. Let's just say before Kingdom Hearts 3 Elsa, one of the best metals in the game was Kingdom Hearts 3 Kyrie B. This Dusk could be copying that Kingdom Hearts 3 Kyrie B. Also comes along, I just replace whatever the Dusk is copying to the next best thing. So copy metals have a great longevity, and that's again why I think this is such a sledgehammer to the face to drop this right before anniversary, because copy metals are just so good. They're so amazing, and they have such a long life, and there's so many different ways to use them. But that's enough babbling about how great copy metals are. Let's talk about the draw odds really quickly here. So the draw odds show you everything that's available to you in the pools. Essentially, the only thing you're really looking for is Lingering Will. There are none of the newer tier 10 metals available in the draw pool. So there's no Supernova Renew metals. There's no Dissidia Sephiroth. There's no Kingdom Hearts 3 Xion Supernova Plus. So in this case, really, if you're pulling for the Lingering Will, which again is important to have 15,000 jewels to make sure that you can absolutely 100% guarantee that you're getting him. In terms of the draw odds, I actually went ahead and cranked out the math. So remember that you get 6 general 5-star or higher medals, and the chances of you getting the Lingering Will early as a general medal are 1 every 102 pulls. That means essentially you can mercy this medal 20 times before you can actually get an additional copy that is a non-Mercy copy. In terms of the Kingdom Hearts 3 medals, so again, you get 3 Kingdom Hearts 3 medals per pull, which is represented by this guarantee A. You get an additional Lingering Will medal once every 155 pulls. So really the point that I'm getting at here is you have to be able to Mercy the medal if you want to pull for it. Gambling for it is not recommended because, again, 1 every 100 and so pulls gets you it early is not enough for you to spend your jewels on it. You want to make sure that you've got 15,000 jewels to guarantee that that medal is coming your way. So let's go ahead and pull up the medal's image right here. So what are my final thoughts? It's a copy medal. It's a 5-pull Mercy. There's a lot of great reasons to pull for it, and if you wanted to spend your 15,000 jewel reserve just to get this medal, I couldn't even blame you. I literally went over this whole discussion about why copy medals are so great, why they're so versatile, and why they're going to last a long time. So if you want to pull for this medal, I absolutely encourage you to go for it because it can last you a long time. There was a time when Toonamine, which is the first upright power copy medal, came out. I didn't pull for her. I didn't have the jewels at the time, and I regret not getting her because she fills so many like different problems that I had. She could have copied a power medal, meaning that I paid for 1 less power medal. So essentially copy medals are just so good. I can't blame you if you want to pull for them. Remember that the copy medal that came before this was Rage Form Sora, which is essentially the upright speed version of Lingering Will, and Rage Form Sora was not available as a 5-pull Mercy. This guy being available as a 5-pull Mercy, beautiful, perfect. It is so good. So if you want to pull for this medal, I absolutely understand. Just make sure that, again, you have 10 days to decide. Please think it over before you start pulling, and then you need 15,000 jewels. If you can't Mercy, don't pull. It doesn't matter how amazing the medal is, because essentially at that point, you are gambling it. You are gambling your jewels, which again, have the highest value of any resource in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. So if you want to pull for it, it's great. New medals, better medals are always going to come, but really the only thing that can replace a copy medal is another better copy medal, essentially. Like, they have to release new mechanics to make copy medals not good. Remember that the first wave of copy medals were so good, and then the thing that really killed that first wave of copy medals is Supernova. Supernova came out, old copy medals didn't have it. They didn't have the base strength increase that the newer medals had, and that's what killed the old copy medals. They literally invented a new mechanic that killed the old copy medals. Now that we have a new set of copy medals, these are going to last a long time until they release another mechanic that makes copy medals not good. They'd have to release a mechanic like, this medal cannot be copied by copy medals. Like something that ridiculous in order to stop these guys in their track. So copy medals are great value. They've got longevity. Like, I could definitely not blame you if you wanted to pull. However, if you wanted to pull, just remember that you are pulling with Anniversary right around the corner. So I would still recommend don't drop below 15,000 jewels if possible. If you've got 30,000 jewels, I totally would pull for this medal. It is a fantastic medal just to have in your inventory. Remember that the big bonus challenge is going on right now, so that's 5,000 jewels for anyone that can complete it. So that gets you closer to that 15,000 you need in order to pull for this guy. However, I've been talking a lot about jewels. Remember that it's 15,000 jewels just to get the medal. To bring it up from A class to S class, you're gonna need to buy more traits because it takes roughly about 20 to 30 trait medals in order to get a perfect medal. You get 5 from the banner, you get 5 from VIP coins. So essentially you're gonna need to go to the Moogle shop and potentially purchase a few more packs, which are like 1,000 each for 10 or something like that. Let's take a quick look before leaving here. So yeah, 1,000 jewels gets you 10 of them. So you might need to buy into this pack 1 or 2 more times. So really it's about 17,000 jewels to make this medal perfect. Unless you're VIP, you've got that other option, which is just buying the trait straight up for 500. But great medal, great banner. 5-pull Mercy for a copy medal is always, 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 no matter what banner it's been. It could be the Phantom, it could be Toonamine, it could be Kingdom Hearts Toonamine, which are super old copy medals. They were always worth it no matter what. So if you want to pull, totally agree with you. Can't even blame you. Just remember what's on the line. Anniversary. You've got 10 days to decide. And you got to make sure you Mercy it. Those are my big general things that you want to stay true to if you want to pull for this medal. But with that being said, that's the end of this video. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to leave them down in the comments below, and I'd be happy to answer when I have the time. If you'd like to join my Discord, get some additional help off hours or when I'm not responding to comments in the comment box, go ahead and just jump in right there. It's in that yellow text box at the bottom. Caps locks does matter, so make sure that K, the N, the M, and the S are all capitalized. And we do talk about other things in there like anime, other video games, what's going on in the news, if we're setting up a Jackbox party, so things like that. If you want to be part of that, feel free to join. But with that being said, that's the end of this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, until next time, take it easy.